Dang it, you guys. Ugh. It was an echo. I'll wait for everybody to come over here. I hate when that happens. Now we gotta wait for everybody to come over. Now we gotta wait for everybody to come over here. Hey, you guys. My other live messed up, so now we gotta wait for everybody to realize I'm over here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I hate when that happens, when the original live starts acting. So now everybody's just got to discover that I'm on a different live. Hi. Hey, welcome. Everybody was on the other live, then it was an echo, so I got out of that one and I'm in this one. So now we got to wait for everybody to come over here. See, that's why I try to come on here early. So when I have technical difficulties, we're still like right on time, right? So now everybody's got to migrate over here. So can everybody hear me, see me clearly? Can everybody hear me, see me? I'm trying to put a message in the other live to let everybody know this is not a good live, you guys. Welcome. Yeah, they'll come over here. It was an echo and y'all know. So everybody will be migrating over here shortly once they realize I'm no longer in that live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. Happy December 30th. I put a little message in the other live and I'm like, I'm not in here anymore. Sorry, you guys. Sorry, they'll figure it out. Here we come. Here we go. Hi, you guys. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Eventually, everybody will figure out that I'm over here and not over there anymore. So, you know, technical difficulties, but it's all good, you guys. It is all good. Happy Saturday. Let's let people come in here. If you are here, if you can hear me and see me clearly, let me know. Yes, thumbs up, hear me, see me, and tell me where you're from. I always like to know where everybody is from, you guys. You know, that's what I love. I don't make you do a whole lot of talking and all that kind of stuff, but just tell me where you are from. I know everybody's so confused because I sent that link out to everybody. But they'll catch on eventually that we're all over here. So, and that nobody is over there. Texas, welcome Texas. Texas, y'all are all in the like foreclosure news, real estate news. Georgia, y'all stay, you know, y'all's got your big auction next week in Georgia. I just posted those auctions up. If you follow me on Instagram, everybody come on over. Come on over. Your girl had technical difficulties, so now we in a new room. But we are here, right? So, Georgia, okay, we always have like a ton of Georgia people. Georgia, did y'all see y'all's auctions? Georgia, Texas, and California. Auctions, insane. Florida, okay, Florida. Question, can you contact the trustees before auction and buy direct? I get that question all the time. I feel like if you contact the trustee, they are going to say contact the homeowner. You know what I mean? Because at that point, and keep in mind, like auctions, welcome Memphis. Woo woo. Yes, tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're from. That's probably the only, well, I might ask you another question, but we're going to roll with that. So when you call the trustee, keep in mind, auctions, pre-foreclosures, they are still owned by the homeowner, okay? So like, that's the difference between auction properties and REO properties. Auctions are still owned by the homeowner. So up until I say Oxford, Mississippi, up until I say going once, going twice, sold, you guys, that property still belongs to the homeowner, okay? Welcome everybody coming in. I was in the other room. We had some technical difficulties and now I'm over here. So welcome. Everybody will migrate over here. So my point is, the question was, can you contact the trustee and buy it directly from them? So what I'm saying is, auction properties, pre-foreclosure properties, they are technically still owned by the homeowner. So until I say going once, going twice, sold, the homeowner's still in charge. Like, you would have to, instead of talking to the trustee, it would be best for you to try to reach out to the homeowner. And that's what the trustee is going to say. Reach out to the homeowner and, try to work it out that way. Or they'll say, or go to the auction. This is probably the opening bid. There it is. Does that make sense to you? So definitely still owned by the homeowner until it's sold at auction. And then when it reverts back to the bank, if nobody buys it at the auction, then it is owned by the bank. And then that's when you negotiate directly with the bank when it's an REO. Does that make sense? Did I just take like the scenic route to answer your question? So the trustee is probably going to say contact the homeowner, right? And try to work it out with them, or go to the auction. So that's typically how that will work. A lot of people ask that, like, if you can buy it before it goes to auction. If that's the case, you deal directly with the homeowner, right? And then they will sell it like for sale by owner or something like that. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense to you who asked the question? Wow, here to slay. Does that answer your question? Okay, you guys, it is 8:06. Great. Okay, good. I know I took the long route to get there. So 8:06, let me really quickly, because I forget to do the introduction sometimes, you guys, and I just start talking. So really quickly, you guys, I'm Ashley Pickens here in Memphis, Tennessee. This is like totally my YouTube intro. Here in Memphis, Tennessee, you guys, I have been in real estate since 2006 as a real estate agent. I've also been a real estate broker over a firm. But what everybody knows me for, and probably why y'all are here, is because I auction off foreclosures. I'm an auctioneer. I auction off foreclosures at the courthouse for, everybody's like, who do I work? Do I work for the banks? Who do I work for? I'm contracted through attorneys. The attorneys that represent the banks, that's who I work for, okay? So that is what I do. I'm at the courthouse. It is cash only. When you come see me at the courthouse, for trustee sales, for me, you do have to be in person to bid. A lot of people ask that. I saw that comment on the post I posted on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley on Instagram, somebody asked if the sales that I post were in-person bidding or online bidding. So trustee sales, for me, if I post them, right, they are usually in person, and they are at the courthouse in the county where the property is, the county courthouse. Okay, I am never at the house. I know if you watch those TV shows, a lot of times they're like auctioning at the house. Y'all ain't at the house, y'all. People still live in the properties at some of these. I think maybe some of the smaller auction companies, they might do it at the house, but y'all ain't standing in front of anybody's house auctioning off the... Y'all, I live in Memphis. So I'm always at the courthouse in the county, no matter if I'm in Shelby County. So I auction in Shelby County, which is Memphis, parts of Mississippi, and sometimes I'm in Nashville. So I'm always at the courthouse in that county, okay? So now keep in mind, like, you can bid online, like auction.com, hubzoo.com, Xome, Xome.com. A lot of times they allow you to bid online, right? Okay, Georgia, we got a lot of people in Georgia. Is it because y'all got this big auction coming up next week? Did y'all see my Instagram? Y'all, it's like, but I mean, it's always a lot of auctions the first week of the month in Georgia, Texas, and California. That's when y'all have your big auctions, and it's a bunch. And the thing is, you guys, it's a lot of opening bids, which we have not had a lot of opening bids. Anybody who's been going to the auction here in the last few months, right? Opening bids have not been posted. Everything's been like postponed. Everything's been canceled. Y'all, they got the opening bids. So I don't know if banks are starting to, I don't know if they're starting to start the foreclosures up. Is there anything about the foreclosure market in 24 that you anticipate may happen that we should take note of or be aware of that may be different or take advantage of in 2024? Thank you for that question. In Jacksonville, Florida, I see Florida's always in here. So I was doing a little research, right, you guys? Just trying to see what's going on, highest concentration of like foreclosures, all things like that. So, of course, I always got some articles that I've been reading, right? So, let's talk about some of the top. Okay, so I found a bunch of articles like cities that are showing the most profit when it comes to flipping properties, right? Or when it comes to renting, holding properties, right? So when it comes to investing, you know what I mean? Like, you got to have like a game plan, right? You've got to have a game plan. Are you going to buy it and flip it, or are you going to buy it and hold it, right? So I think a lot of people, I guess it just depends on how good those profit margins are, right? If you got a good like $100,000, $150,000, you're probably gonna flip it, right? If you can make some, if that's the game plan, you get a lump sum of money, right? But the smaller the profit margins are, that's usually when people rent, right? They're gonna rent it out. I've seen guys come to the auction and the plan will be to flip the property, right? But it gets bid up that they're like, I'm gonna have to end up renting it out because I don't have room to fix it up and make a profit off of it. So sometimes, you just got to be prepared for each one of those. So we can talk about states, we can talk about places that seem like it's going to see an increase in foreclosures. And you guys, the thing is, the things with foreclosures and REOs is the discount in price, right? I don't know any other real estate method. I'm trying to think of the word. Real estate method where you get such a discount in properties. I guess if you're doing like that subject to, but I don't do, that's not my lane. But I'm just saying the auction is a great place. Like foreclosures, that's where you get that deep discount on real estate, right? So we'll go over that. What is the best way to pull up auctions in Georgia? Because each county is different. For sure. I say, so of course, I don't know why y'all don't believe me, but auction.com is like a great place, right? Auction.com posts my auctions that I do at the courthouse. So auction.com is a great one. If you can find the public notices. So if you live in, what are those counties in Georgia? Like Gwinnett, Fulton, Bibb, Cobb, all those. If you can pull up those public notices, and I told y'all before, how do you find public notices? You put in the county and then put public notices, right? So Cook County public notices or Bibb County public notices, right? That's where you'll find, look, I always do this every live. I know y'all are like, Ashley, I'm tired of that raggedy newspaper that you hold up every time. In the paper, if you can find your smaller paper, it's usually in there, right? So, but I would put in, it just depends on where, Harris County public notices. You might have to dig a little deep, right? Dig a little deep and find the public notice. When you find the public notice, you'll find the auction date. And the public notices come out 30 days. Everybody who wants to get to them before they go to auction, they put the public notice out 30 days before the auction, okay? So, put in your county public notices. If you can't find it that way, you guys, you can also go to like your county records and deeds. Sometimes they'll put out their like auctions or trustee, your county trustee office, right? Find that. And sometimes they post the trustee sales, okay? And then like you guys, auction.com, I keep telling you, auction.com, Hubzu, Xome, Xome. I think Civic Source is another one, like a really great resource to find auction properties, you guys. But Old Faithful is find the public notices. Again, I always say this, it's in the smaller paper, right? The smaller paper, not your big, huge papers. But if you got a little smaller paper where they put the obituaries, in Memphis, they put all of our business out in Memphis. So if you owe child support, if you're getting divorced, whatever you got going on, they're going to put it in this paper, right? It's our smaller daily news. If you live in Nashville, it's the Tennessee Ledger is their paper. So this is where, like, if you're in Georgia, I think it's like, are y'all Harris County? Is it Harris County in Georgia? I don't know. That might be Texas. I'm trying to think of the people in the mentorship, and I know they like find it where they find. I think it's Harris County, but Google public notices in your county. What is the difference between bid amount and estimated judgment? I don't know. Did you see that on an auction site? So I know if they have like reserve, something I talked about this, the difference between an absolute auction and a reserve auction. You guys, I love this. I love when y'all ask me questions, right? That just lets me just talk like I need something to talk about. Here's Houston. Okay. You're right. So what was it saying? Absolute and reserve auctions. Absolute, I do absolute auctions. That means whoever has the highest bid gets the house, okay? So if the opening bid is $500, if there is only one person at the auction, a little note for you guys, one person, they can bid $1 over plus $1 and they get the property for $501, okay? That's an absolute auction. Highest bidder gets the property, okay? So reserve auction means the bank, the lender, whoever has a reserve that has to be met before they sell the property. Even though this is the craziest thing ever, the opening bid is not the reserve amount. Crazy, right? The opening bid is just a starting point to get you to the reserve, right? And then a lot of times if you're on auction.com, it'll say reserve not met. If you've ever been on auction.com, that means that even though it's some people bidding, y'all still hadn't hit the point that the bank is willing to sell it. And if they don't get the reserve, they won't sell the property, okay? A lot of times I feel like to find the reserve, because I've helped my friends bid before online, go look and see when that property last sold, okay? That is like a hint for everybody. That's kind of how I figure out opening bids. Go look at the history of that property. Go on Zillow, go wherever, go to your county records and deed, and see when that property last sold and see how much it sold for, right? If it just sold in the past 3 years, you guys, they owe that whole loan. They owe the whole loan. That reserve amount or that opening bid is going to be probably the whole loan, okay? Now, if they bought it 10, 15, 20 years ago, right, then that opening bid is probably going to be, probably low, right? Because they owned it for 10, 15, 20 years, right? So that's a good way to figure out that reserve amount, okay? So if it's a reserve, see when it last sold. If it just sold in the last 2 years, y'all, it's the whole loan. You got to get close to whatever the homeowner paid, okay? Is what I mean, right? That's what I mean. They owe that whole loan. So you're not going to get a discount on it if they just bought it 2 years ago. You're about to pay the strength, okay? Yes, and I think we should talk about, maybe 80, right, I'm with you. And I think we should talk about that. Like, it's the end of the year. This might be my last live for 2023. You guys, I might come on here tomorrow, like midday. We'll see how I feel. But I think this is prime opportunity to kind of reevaluate, look over what happened in 2023, what you want to do better in 2024. You know what I mean? I've got goals. I know everybody does not do goals, right? But I set goals, right? Because you're not trying to be in the same place you were at last year, right? I mean, I get that everybody on here is a millionaire, right? So everybody you might not have any goals. But for those people who are not millionaires, I think this is a good time to kind of reevaluate. I'll talk about places that I think, you're going to see an increase in foreclosures. And yes, I think this is prime time to kind of take inventory, reevaluate, your budget, your spending, your saving, and how are you going to approach 2024, right? Like, we got to get our lives together, right? Because if the bottom falls out, which is so crazy, because everybody's always like, I can't wait for the market to crash. I can't wait to do this. But half people aren't even in position to take advantage if the market really crashed, right? Let's be completely honest about that, right? So you've got to take inventory, right? Let's reevaluate some things. Is the goal, right? Are we buying long term? Are we holding? Are we flipping? Are we trying to be rentals? Y'all know my goal. Y'all know the goal for Ashley is I'm living off of rental properties, right? And I'm going to buy my beach house on the beach for like $47.19, right? Everybody knows that. That is the plan. And I will just come on here. Y'all will just see the waves crashing behind me. And I'll just come on here and talk to y'all on YouTube, right? That's the goal. It's the plan, right? Have opened a real estate and it feels like everyone is crabs in a bucket. So you just gotta, I feel like you gotta have a strategy, right? Like, there's always gonna be competition, or there's always going to be people doing the same thing, right? Like, I feel like there's people, well, I mean, it ain't everybody ain't your auction mama, right? But that's not the point. But you know what I mean? What makes it, everybody might have the same end goal, but we all have like play a different hand, right? We're not all trying to get there the same way, right? So I feel like you just have to be creative sometimes. And I think the thing is consistency, right? Y'all, I have mailed for the last 3.5 years, right? There's so many people who are like, Ashley, I'm going to mail with you. Ashley, I'm going to do postcards. Y'all, consistency, I feel like, is the thing that just throws most people off. And if I have to talk about my strengths and weaknesses, and one of my strengths is consistency, right? At least when it comes to mailing. Maybe not when it comes to YouTube. But when it comes to mailing, consistency, right? That is one thing that you have to do. And I don't care what it is. Agents are always like, my beach house changes. It just changes, right? But it doesn't ever go over $100. So consistency, I feel like, right? Agents always come to me, right? And they're like, Ashley, do you think this works? If I send postcards, will this work? If I post on social media, will this work? I tell everybody, whatever you do, everything works if you're consistent, right? All the marketing strategies work. Should I cold call? Should I door knock? Should I mail? It'll work if you do it consistently, right? They all work. I think the biggest thing is most people just don't stick with anything long enough to see a result, right? So that's going to be the biggest thing that sets people apart. And I think that is the thing that sets people apart, right? I know everybody looks like an overnight success and we just woke up and are millionaires, but that's not how it happened, right? You have to consistently save and invest and say no to flat screen TVs. Y'all know we don't buy flat screen TVs on this channel. No flat screen TVs, no like maxing out credit cards. You guys, I know Christmas just passed, so y'all know how I feel about that. I hope y'all did not max out your credit cards buying toys that your kids probably aren't even playing with right now. They probably already stopped playing with them, right? Do the things, look at me, my mind goes all over the place. At this point, you guys, I think most of us are over the age of 30, 35, 40, wherever we are on the timeline. We all know what we're supposed to do, right? We all know what we're supposed to do. Now, the difference is, are we going to do it or not? You're not supposed to max out your credit cards. You're not supposed to spend down to zero in your bank account. We know these things. Now, the thing that separates everybody is if you're going to do, since you know better, are you going to do better? I feel like. So that's what's going to separate people in 2024, right? So everybody can jump in when it comes to real estate. I don't care where you are. I always say you cannot come see me at the auction, right? Because at the auction, I'm cash, right? I'm straight cash. You got to have cash to come see me, right? So everybody is not there as far as the auction. But you guys, I always say this. You can get an REO property, right? There are always different creative financing at this point. REO properties, you can use traditional financing, right? That's FHA, VA, conventional loans. You can use that, but you still have to have some things in order to even be able to do that, right? Whereas you don't have to have a huge lump sum of cash like you do at the auction. If you go traditional, you'll still have to have some money for a down payment, right? So what does that mean? That means maybe instead of going out to eat, you just gonna have to put that money to the side, right? You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to pay down some credit cards, right? You're gonna have to file your taxes, right? You're gonna have to do the things that it takes to put you in a position to win, right? So sacrifice, baby. That's what I'm saying. Sacrifice, consistency, discipline. It's not for everybody, but the ones who do it will reap the rewards. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So when I come out here in my beach house, y'all, that I get for $32.17, y'all gonna be like, Ashley told. I'm gonna be like, I told y'all. I told you. But anyway, that's not the point. Let's talk about. That's true. We've seen it in just 30. You guys. So I looked at the numbers. Let's go over real quick. Let's talk about where we are. Where it comes to foreclosures, you guys, I think we are still at 45,000 foreclosures for the entire year. Keep in mind, in a normal year, I always say this, in a normal real estate cycle, you guys, people buy houses, sell houses, and people foreclose. That is the circle of life. That is just how it operates, right? Don't come for me because I talk about people in foreclosure, right? I know y'all don't, because y'all love me, because y'all are here. But y'all know they tried to come for me on Instagram on that video. But anyway, people buy, sell, and foreclose. In a normal real estate cycle like 2019, 2018, y'all, we normally foreclose on 150 to 200,000 people every year. Okay, in a normal year, at least 150,000 people lose their homes every year to foreclosure. Okay. However, since COVID 2020, y'all, we have not foreclosed on people at our normal levels, right? So 2020, I think we were at, let's see, I know this year we're sitting at 45,000. Last year we were at like 43,000. 2021 we were at like 25,000. You guys, we haven't foreclosed on people going on 4 years. It's plenty of people in the pipeline as far as foreclosures are concerned, right? Again, you know, they just put that VA moratorium on VA loans. Y'all, it's a whole bunch of VA loans in default. Let me just be honest about that. Because even in 2020, the VA reported that they had their highest amount of VA loans that they ever had in 2020, right? I think they said they did like 1.4 million VA loans in 2020. 2021, it was like 1.2 million. 2020, 2021, like each year it was over a million VA loans, 2020, 21, and 22. So now we're hearing it's a whole bunch of VA loans in default. That's why they put that moratorium on VA loans until next summer, right? FHA is saying that almost 20% of their loans are in default right now. You guys, yeah. So let's catch up really quickly on cities, because I know this is where y'all like to know where the hot spots are as far as foreclosures. Georgia, I think Georgia had like a bunch of cities, but you know that saying like what goes up must come down. Georgia was so hot. I know all my Georgia people was so hot during 21, 22, where y'all were bidding the properties ridiculously high, like everybody, even here, you know what I mean? So again, what goes up must come down, right? They even have an article about like the top, I think it's the top 10 counties that are going to see the hardest hit. Like, right, like, I'm going to read it to you. Don't worry. Don't worry. Like, it's got the percentage of like underwater homes, percentage of foreclosure filings. It's a bunch of them in California and it's a bunch of them in Georgia. So, just to recap where we are, you guys, for foreclosures right now, we've got states with the highest foreclosure rates: Delaware, Maryland, Ohio, South Carolina, and New Jersey. If we're talking about cities, we got Bakersfield, California, Cleveland, Ohio, Canton, Ohio, Columbia, South Carolina, and Stockton, California. Okay? If we're talking about REO properties. So keep in mind, you guys, I always try to refresh in case this is your first time here. Good morning. I say good morning. Good evening, Mike. How are you? I do pre-foreclosures, auctions, right? If it does not sell at the auction, right? If there's a bidder who doesn't want it, if it's too high and it does not sell, it reverts back to the bank, right? The bank takes ownership. That is an REO property, okay? So, REO, real estate owned by the bank, properties that don't sell at the auction, okay? So, states with the highest number of REOs: Michigan, California, Illinois, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Cities: Detroit, Michigan. Detroit is like on all the lists, y'all. Where Kevin at? Kevin, he's in my mentorship, Mr. Motor City. Detroit, Chicago, Illinois, New York City, Baltimore, Maryland, and St. Louis, Missouri. REOs, those are the cities with the highest amount of REO properties right now. And again, I keep saying this, you guys, we're going to see a ton of REO properties because it is a lot of properties up for auction right now that were just bought in the last 3 years, you guys. The last 3 years. Those people owe the whole loans, and it's a whole lot of investors. A ton of investors, you guys. I read an article today about like the cities that were not, like the cities that investors were having the most trouble in flipping properties. Like the profit margins were really low and they were sitting on the market a long time. People trying to flip properties, right? And I mean, if you have financing or it's a hard money loan, right, and you can't flip it and get off of it, you guys, it's a ton of investors in foreclosure. I posted a couple of them in my stories, and you can tell that they're investors because they just bought it in the last 3 years, completely remodeled. You guys, like, look like a brand new house, completely remodeled. And if you look at the history, they tried to rent it out, they tried to sell it, couldn't sell it, tried to rent it, could not rent it, pulled it from the market, and now it's in foreclosure. Like, they just could not get off of it. So, is there a penalty for winning the bid and not returning? So, I think, like, I know with tax sales, like, you got to put down a deposit. So, if you don't pay, if you win and don't pay, they're probably going to keep your deposit, right? With me, it's just going to make me really upset that I called a whole auction and then you don't have the coins, right? So with me, I guess if somebody didn't have the money, I have not run into that before, then I would just give it to the bidder who they were bidding against, right? If that happened. I mean, I've had auctions where people didn't realize that I don't take a personal check. Y'all, I don't take personal checks at the auction. But I guess if you've never been to the auction and you don't know how it works, you don't know that I don't take personal checks, right? So I have had an auction where a lady won and she had a personal check. I don't take personal checks, right? So, you know, that's happened. I've had like where an investor was short some money. But here in Memphis, you guys, it's only like 4 or 5 bidders at the auction here in Memphis. And they all know each other, right? I mean, I've had the same bidders for the last 6 years, right? So, I mean, and they've been coming to the auction before I started auctioning. So, they know each other. So, when he was short, He basically just looked at the other guy and was like, I need to borrow this money. And he did. He gave him the money to borrow it. But I mean, they all know each other. Like, you know what I mean? It'll be times I will sell a property to one of them, and then they'll sell it to the other one. You know, one of them will be like, I really wanted that one. And they'll just like figure it out amongst themselves. Like, that's how close they are here in Memphis. That's why I need more of y'all to come to the auction. That's why I started doing this, because I see the same people at the auction every time I go, right? So to answer your question, even though I always take the scenic route, don't I guess if it's online or tax sales, they probably don't keep your, deposit. That's what when I read on tax sales, they say they keep your deposit if you don't come up with the money in a certain amount of time, from what I understand. So what was I talking about? Oh, foreclosure starts. These are the states with the most foreclosure starts right now. Texas, California, Texas with almost 3,000, California with almost 3,000, Florida with 2,000 foreclosure starts, New York with almost 1,500, and Ohio with a little over 1,000 foreclosure starts. Let's talk about cities. New York City with the most foreclosure starts, Houston, Texas, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Chicago, Illinois, and Miami, Florida. I'm going to get my beach house for $17.23. Watch. Oh, I'm from Memphis and feel so encouraged. Yes, come see me. So in Memphis, auctions are Friday mornings. Usually, they can be any day. Usually, auctions are Friday morning. DeSoto County, that's Mississippi, they're Thursday. Nashville can be like Tuesday or Wednesday, but auctions can be any day, right? When I look at the schedule, they're every day. I know Georgia, y'all are y'all the first Tuesday of the month. Y'all are the second. Y'all's big auction is on the second. I just posted the schedule. If you follow me on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley, if you look at my stories, I posted the schedule. Yeah, it's y'all's Georgia, Texas, California, the first Tuesday of the month. Y'all go. I think that is, if you ask me, not that you ask me, but if you asked me, Ashley, what could we do for you? Ashley, what would you like us to do for you? I would just like y'all to go to an auction. That is it. You don't have to bid. You don't have to open your mouth. You don't have to do anything. Just go. It is open to the public. It is free. Just walk. Y'all, I'm literally at the courthouse. Just walk up. I don't care where you are. Chicago, Houston, Atlanta. I know y'all's auctions are off the chain in Atlanta. Go. I mean, that's even more reason for you to go. And nobody's even going to notice. Like, you just don't bid, right? You don't have to bid. Just go. See where it is. See how many people are there. Learn the process. So, I mean, if the bottom falls out, at least y'all know where to go. You know what I mean? Go. Get a feel for it. See where you got to park. See who the auctioneer is. You know what I mean? Just go. That is my goal for all of you. If you don't have any goals, if you're like, Ashley, I don't do goals. You got one goal, and I just gave it to you. Go to an auction. Go on auction.com, even if you don't even want to bid in your city. If your city is ridiculously expensive or something like that, look on auction.com, put in your county, see when the auction is, and just go. Just go. Just go. If you get nervous or if you get scared, put you on some sunglasses and act like you're really cool and just walk in there, right? Like, they don't know. You might have $1 million in your pocket, right? And agreeing the beach house is, look, I'm telling y'all, you never know. You never know. I might get a beach house and all they owe is their taxes. Look, you never know, right? And y'all know Florida is like supposed to be the epicenter. Florida and Texas are the epicenters, they said, for foreclosures. San Antonio, I see Stockton, California is on this list again. Y'all know Stockton was like the ground zero for foreclosures in the last housing crash, right? I can't say crash, right? Like, that's the trigger word you can't say. But okay, so I did the foreclosure starts, REO properties, and cities with the highest. So this is the article, in case y'all missed it, that got everybody so upset at me. Well, not really. Like, more people were happy that I shared the numbers. But how many households are behind on their mortgage? Y'all know the numbers. If you followed me for any amount of time, you know I go over this every single month. And I've said, you know, we've had at least 10 million people behind on their mortgage for at least the last 3 years. At least the last 3 years, right? Because I follow the numbers. And it kind of goes to show, like, y'all probably don't know, but in 2020, the White House came out with an article that said over 10 million people were behind on their mortgage in 2020. That's what made them put that moratorium for COVID, because over 10 million people were behind. Now, what is over? I don't know. Over could mean 15, over could mean 20. They just said over 10 million people were behind on their mortgage. And then boom, we had a moratorium for 2 years, right? So now here we are, coming up on 2024, right? And we still have almost 10 million people behind on their mortgage. So so I will read this article to you. I suggest y'all find it and like bookmark it. I will put it in the description below. It's HUD. HUD does a survey every single month about housing insecurity, if you're behind on your mortgage, if you're behind on your rent. So it says approximately 11% or 5.3 million renters were behind on their rental payments. We've also got 5.4% or 4.52 million homeowner households were behind on their mortgage payments in November, up from 5.15% year over year. So again, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know how I feel about this. This is a survey. They just ask, and I always say, they never asked me about my mortgage, so I don't know who they surveying. But they didn't ask me. So I always say, if they were to ask the top 5 mortgage servicers what their default numbers were, I think it would probably be double these numbers, honestly. You know, but they probably not going to tell us until it's too late. I don't know. Or they won't tell us. You'll just start seeing them put more assistance in place, or they'll start putting like another moratorium, or you know what I mean. They'll come out with all these programs to help people. That's how you know when it get bad, when they start. Like, that's how I know the veterans loans are in serious default, when they put a whole extension on foreclosures until next summer. I'm like, oh yeah, the VA loans are in serious default if they did that. So I expect probably in the next 30, 60 days, they're going to probably put another extension on foreclosures. I foresee that happening. We might get another moratorium. Will that help us? Probably not, right? That doesn't, I mean, people just haven't paid in 4 years, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm hearing they might put that past due balance on the back of the loans, right? They could do that. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. As we all know, next year is an election year. So nobody wants a huge foreclosure wave on their record, I'm sure. You know, I don't know, you guys. We will see I think that's what everybody's trying to waiting to see what's going to happen, especially with an election year, right? But just know we have a pipe full of foreclosures. We have millions of people who have not paid their mortgage in 3 or 4 years. So how that's all going to play out, I have no idea. You know what I mean? You just never know. But I did read this article that I wanted to share with you all really quickly, because y'all know I read. That should be another goal for everybody. Read at least one book, or listen to a podcast, or read an article. I don't know. Read a book or something this year. Read at least one book this year. How long do foreclosures last on your record, and can you still get a new one? Absolutely. You can still for sure get a new one. I think I don't know, maybe 3 years. I don't know with foreclosures. You guys, I don't know. I should know that. Hold on, look. It's not like I'm not on the computer. How long after foreclosure? Look, I'll type this in real quick because it's like it's not like bankruptcy, but after like if you file a 7 or a 13, y'all look, that is not my specialty. That's not my specialty. But I mean, you can buy another house after bankruptcy. You just got to wait that time. How long after foreclosure? Look, I'm doing this. This is real time right here, you guys. How long after foreclosure can I buy a house? Look, it looks like other people have been asking that too. It says, now to qualify for a loan under Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac guidelines, you must usually wait at least 7 years after a foreclosure. So, conventional loan, 3 to 7 years after so it depends on the type of loan. Conventional loan, 3 to 7. It just depends, right? So a lot of times I'll tell people, you guys, like when I worked on the residential side, now I work on the investment side. But when I did work on residential, like if it was like a married couple or two people buying a house, my dog Rex, how are you? If one person could afford to get that house in their name, let that one person get the house in their name, right? The other spouse's name would still be on the deed. It would just be one person's name on the loan. And I always posed it. Y'all know the word I'm trying to say. Phrased it as, if they want to buy another investment property, at least this other person's credit would be open. And on the negative side, if the house forecloses, right, it wouldn't hurt both people's credit. That other person's credit would still be good, right? But most people, y'all, ain't trying to buy. They trying to get the biggest house they can get. But that's just a thought. Put the house in one person's name and keep the other person's credit open, right? But everybody's name is on the deed, so you can't put nobody out. Okay. Do you need a license to go to auction? Nope. Open to the public. Open to the public, you guys. That's why I said go. You don't need anything. If you're not bidding, you guys, y'all, I'm at the courthouse, you guys. Like, y'all just walk up. You just walk up. You know what I mean? I don't ask for ID or anything like that unless you're trying to bid, right? Unless you're registering to bid, I don't ask them. It's people there all the time just standing there watching, right? Trying to figure out how this works. Is this the auction? But I know like at car auctions, you need like a license. I think if you're buying at automobile auctions, foreclosure auction, no. Here, auction.com is in our hotel, in the conference inn, right? They're literally across the street from me from the courthouse. On the 3rd floor in a conference room. You just walk in there and sit down. If you want to bid, then you register, right? But other than that, just go, right? So no, you don't need a license. That's why I say just go, you guys. Just go get in the atmosphere of the auction, right? Just don't open your mouth if you don't have no money. Just don't say nothing, right? You just sitting there, you just be like, nope, it got bid up too high. Never mind. You know what I mean? Do you need a license? They going to end up in the they might not. Well, I mean, if both of them on there, But, if somebody keep their credit open. One person put their name on the loan. Other person keep their credit open. Y'all can buy investment property. And then if times get hard, both y'all credit don't have a foreclosure on it, right? Because that's the thing that I run into a lot with people is, which a lot of people don't know, like I've helped people save their house before it goes to foreclosure, right? So we're about to sell it before the auction and they go to look for like an apartment, right? And it's coming back that they have a foreclosure on their credit and the property didn't foreclose. But I guess when they got behind, no, what it is when the attorney filed that notice of default 30 days before the auction, that hit their credit. So when they go to look for an apartment, they've got a foreclosure sitting on their credit, even though their property did not foreclose, which is a problem that people will have. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people are going to have that foreclosure sitting on their credit. That's something I just thought about when we said this. Yeah, so it's going to be hard for people to find something else because when they file that notice, a lot of times it hits their credit. I mean, and their credit's probably hit anyway because they haven't paid that mortgage and they got those late payments. Y'all know what I'm saying. Aren't people still living in the homes? Yep. That's the thing with auction properties, you guys. So I say this every time I get on here. Everybody's risk level and blood pressure is not set for auction, right? Everybody risk level is not actually at the auction, right? Because auction properties, people could still be living in them. You have to pay cash and you cannot see the inside of these properties. Everybody's real estate investing level is not buying a property that you can't see the inside of. Most people are not there, right? It's not everybody's blood pressure level right there, right? So, but an REO property, get an REO property. If you don't want to handle that eviction, because yes, people can still be living in the property, right? Keep in mind that notice of default goes out 30 days, right? Before the auction. Most people aren't gone in 30 days, right? They still trying to figure out how they're going to pay, trying to figure out a reason. If their auction is in 30 days, they still living in that house, right? So yes, if you buy a property at the auction and people still live in it, you are responsible for evicting them. And I always say, lead with love, right? Because you don't want them to tear up your house. And if not, then you got to go to court. You got to go through the whole eviction process, right? So, but unlike with an REO property, you guys, if it doesn't sell at auction, goes back to the bank gets them out of the house. You can do an inspection. You can go inside. You can back out of that property. You can use traditional financing. Me at the auction, only cash. REO properties, you can use financing. REO properties, I do this every time. HUD Home Store, that's homepath.com, homesteps.com. Wells Fargo has their own REO website. I think Bank of America. Go to Bank of America, put in REO. Wells Fargo, REO. Home Steps, HomePath, HUD Home Store. Go get one of those, you guys. Nobody lives in it. You can use traditional financing and you can negotiate. Negotiate, you guys. Negotiate with the bank, you guys. Negotiate, okay? You can't negotiate with me at the auction. Whatever that opening bid is what that opening bid is. And it goes from there and up. The bank, negotiate with them. If they have on their HUD Home Store that the property is $200,000, offer them $100,000. See what they say. It's the bank, right? So REO is definitely lower risk, safer. Most people blood pressure level is there. You know what I mean? Keep your blood pressure low. Go with an REO. Boom, bars. I just made that up. Keep your blood pressure low. Go with an REO. Crazy. Watch 99 Homes. So basically, yes, REO is better for beginners. Yes, buy some REOs, stack your money, then come see me at the auction. Boom, boom. Watch 99 Homes just now. It was that crazy and realistic, and it was a little. So, of course, I didn't know anybody, but I feel like I don't know if that was truly based on a true story. But I always hear about people doing like real shady stuff, right? Like shady stuff, like taking appliances. Like I know that all that happens, right? Taking appliances from one house and putting it on another house. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you guys, I always have 3 recommendations. 3 recommendations for movies that I think you should watch. If you don't know, if you're new here, hi, my name is Ashley, and I'm completely obsessed with the housing market crash of 2008. Completely obsessed, right? So I watch every single movie, everything that comes out about that, right? So my top 3 movies, everybody, if you've been here before, should know these already. The Big Short, which everybody has seen, The Big Short. 99 Homes, it's a good movie. 99 Homes, lots of profanity. Don't watch it with your kids. And The Inside Job. The Inside Job is a documentary, right? The Big Short, 99 Homes, movies. The Inside Job is a documentary, right? And that's when they interview people who were involved in the last crash and all that kind of stuff. I love all three of them. Watch all three of them and then come back and tell me. Okay, you guys. Boom, 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 boom. Watch 99 Homes. Yes. I need to get my first property looking for a duplex. Did you, well, you're not in Georgia. Where are you? Georgia, next week on Tuesday, they got some 2 duplexes going up for auction. The duplexes are on the market right now. Must be the same owner. They have them on the market right now for $130,000 each of them. Opening bid, however, is $66,000, and the other opening bid is, I think, $76,000. I was like, y'all, if I worked Georgia, I would be all over them right now. Right now. I would leave a note, something on their door right now. But they have them on the market for $130,000. I would call that agent right now and offer them. It's going up for auction on Tuesday. What is today? The 30th? Today's Saturday. Sunday, Monday a holiday, so you can't do nothing with the bank. Tuesday, they're going up for auction. Opening bid is already out. I would be all over them if I was in Georgia. Yes, and duplexes, I love that. I think duplexes are a great way to fast track, I feel like, real estate investing. If you can. You know what I mean? Like, single family is great. Anything you do is great. Let me say that. Any action, execution that you take is great, right? That's better than doing nothing, right? Just watching me and then being motivated for like an hour that I'm on here and then going to sit down and do nothing. Execution, boom, we'll get you there. But with duplexes, you know what I mean? That's like 2 for 1, right? 2 for 1. So that's just kind of a fast track. I need to, I'm probably looking for a duplex. Right. So duplexes are great. I love that. I feel so bad for getting these gems for free. God, come on. I'm here I'm here like every Sunday, but I probably won't be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's New Year's. But I'm here every Sunday. Welcome. I started this because I know y'all didn't know, right? Like, y'all don't know about auctions. And I didn't realize that until I tried to kind of look and Google, and I'm like, nobody really teaches about this, right? So I'm like, I guess God wanted me to come teach y'all. So I started making videos. So if this is your first time finding me, I have 200 videos on YouTube, right? So go watch them. Go watch. I usually have the #1 video on YouTube, how to buy a house at the auction. Go watch it. Go watch it. So I'm glad you found me. Do you have to put down earnest money for REO with using the mortgage, or is it just a down payment? So I think with REOs, right, traditional, they're going to make you put down earnest money. Exactly the same as buying a house, you guys. REO. You might need an agent. If you don't have an agent, you might need to get an agent. I'm not sure. Same contract. They add a couple like addendums to it for it being REO. Same thing. You get an appraisal. You get a home inspection. You can back out of that contract. You can negotiate with the bank, negotiate repairs, appliances, negotiate that price just like a normal transaction, traditional transaction. But it's the bank is the seller instead of like a person, right? And since it's the bank, you guys negotiate for real with them, right? Get back at them for all the fees and stuff that they charge you, right? Like I said, if the price is $200,000, I'd be like $100,000. And come back with a counter, right? When I worked residential and my clients would buy REOs, I think you can go, I've said this before, you can go back and forth with the bank at least 3 times. At least 3 times, right? So negotiate. Appliances, ask for everything, you guys. It's the bank. They got money. Ask for appliances, ask for repairs, ask for everything. Ask for some closing costs. Ask for everything. If your agent does not want to do that, get you another agent. Are there duplex apartments at auctions? So I auction off duplex apartments. Okay, so I have auctioned off duplexes and I have auctioned off apartments. So I will say yes, you can buy single family, you can buy multifamily, you can buy commercial. I mean, if they don't pay, they go in a foreclosure. You know what I mean? So um I always say this. Y'all know Signature Bank that collapsed at the beginning of the year, they auctioned off their commercial properties for 69 cents on the dollar. 69 cents on the dollar. You guys. So that's how I know I'm going to get my beach house for $17.23, right? So yes, to answer that question, duplex is what I think I want to get. I think that's a great investment. I agree, right? That's like my real estate strategy. I mean, if you can buy two places at once, you guys, you know what I mean? Fix it up, make it a little nicer, charge a little bit more rent. I didn't say bust anybody head on rent, but I'm saying charge a little bit more on rent. If you can get it for super cheap, let that rent cover your mortgage, and then do it again. You know what I mean? That's how you do it. That's how you build your portfolio. That's how you have residual income. That's how you leave a job. You got to buy your way out. That's what my friend always says. You got to buy your way out, right? Make enough money coming in to cover your bills, and then you have more to cover all your other expenses. You got to buy your way out. Yes, all types of property style sizes, single, all of them, do all of them, duplexes or REOs. I mean, eventually I think you're going to see everything as REO properties. That's what I'm saying. Go bookmark all the websites I tell you, right? So right now, there might not be a lot, right? Foreclosures, there's always a lag in foreclosures, right? The market crashed in 2008. We saw the peak of foreclosures 2010, right? So there's going to be a lag for foreclosures are going to come for probably the next 3 to 5 years. Let's just be totally honest about that, you guys. 4 years we have not foreclosed on people, you guys. 4 years. 4 years. They're going to come in waves. I already know that. The people who got stopped in 2019 when COVID hit, who were already in the pipeline, they got to come through 2020, 21, 22, 23. All those people got to come through. We got people who, y'all know how I feel about this, who were promised that they could buy now and refinance later, who are struggling, about to lose their homes. They got to come through. All these investors who can't get off their properties, they got to come through. You guys, this is going to happen for the next 3 to 5 years for sure. So even if it does start summer of 2024, that is just the beginning. Just the beginning. So everybody on this live has time to get their money and their mind right. Okay? No excuses. No excuses. Okay? I don't want to hear it. And everybody can go to an auction. I don't care if you only got 20 cents in your pocket. Go to the auction and just don't talk. Right? Just go look. Any information about Civic Source. So that is, Civic Source is, they do have auctions, right? And don't they also do tax liens or land? So a lot of the auction platforms I don't know about, but I know Civic Source for sure in Memphis. We do Civic Source. I think Miami does lien something. Y'all know I did a whole master class on it. Georgia, y'all have y'all's own online place too that y'all can go if you're not at the courthouse or wherever your auctions are. A lot of people do Civic Source. It is legit. Just read the terms. What's the address? Hold on, you guys. I'll tell y'all the address for the duplexes. Y'all, if I worked Georgia, and I try to post when the schedule comes out, I try to look at the properties, see what they look like, and I share it. Follow me on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley on Instagram. Hold on, I'm about to pull up the properties because I think that's what you're asking me. What's the address of the duplexes, right? They're in Bibb County. Bibb County. So one of the addresses is 2694 Cherokee Avenue. 2694 Cherokee Avenue. That's Bibb County, Georgia. Opening bid is $66,766. If you live in Bibb County, I would be all over them. I would call that agent and be like, ask them if they'll take 70,000, because the opening bid is how much they owe on the loan. Opening bid is how much they owe on the loan. The opening bid is $66,000. They have it on the market right now for 130. Or it'd be like, y'all take 100. And the other address, you guys, if you're in Georgia, Bibb County, 2684 Hillcrest Avenue. 2684 Hillcrest Avenue. Opening bid is $79,000. They got it on the market right now for 130. 2 duplexes, y'all. 2 duplexes. So go check them out. Don't say I didn't never share anything with you guys. What's the address? I got that. She posted everything on this page. Yep. I'm definitely getting some properties. Yes, we all getting properties in 2024. Everybody make an agreement. Deal. Everybody type deal. Deal. And if you can't get a property in 2024, at least pay down your credit card. At least don't overdraft in your bank account, right? Do the little things, right? I know everybody can't do, we can't all pay our credit cards down in one payment, but at least let's start making some payments on our credit cards. I think it's like, one foot in front of the other, right? I'd rather you do a little something than do nothing at all, is how I feel about it. So if that means, y'all just put some extra money on your credit card, right? Pay your credit cards down, right? What else can y'all do? Don't overdraft in your bank account, because when you buy a house, you guys, they're going to want to see bank statements, pay stubs, and tax returns, right? At least 2 months. Do not overdraft in your bank account for 2 months, okay, you guys? Pay your bills on time. Trust me, you guys, I bought a house, and I'm self-employed, right? So they make us go through much more when you self-employed and got to buy a house. So don't overdraft. Pay your credit cards down. File your taxes. Do what you need to do, right? Just to better yourself. That's all I can say. Don't buy flat screen TVs, okay? That's all I can say. Okay, if you're an agent and you buy a duplex for investment, can you get a commission as the agent as well? Yes, absolutely. You sure can. You sure can. How do you persuade a seller to pay the closing costs? I don't know. So, keep in mind, because, I've been an agent for 17 years at this point. It all boils down for the seller side. For the seller side, it boils down to their bottom line. What are they going to walk away with, right? So, if your closing costs, it's all their bottom line, right? And maybe you can have some leverage with, hey, if you pay our closing costs, I can give you an extra 10 or 12 days in the house. What is their motivation? What would make them happy, right? If you can negotiate, if you know how to handle your business and you don't need an agent per se, you could let their agent represent you, right? And be like, look, and I always tell agents, I'll be like, you can take that commission or you can give it back to your seller, right? And maybe that will help their bottom line, right? You just have to see what motivates them, right? But you can ask, but just keep in mind, what's their bottom line? What are they going to walk away with? How motivated are they? If you've got an auction staring in your face on Tuesday, you pretty motivated, right? That's what I'm saying. They got it on the market for 130. Their bottom line is 66, right? But you got that agent. Look at me, that agent. You got to get her. That agent's going to want to get paid. So calculating the agent payment and then be like, I offer him 100,000, right? Would you offer him 100? 66. The agent going to want 3%. When you are staring at an auction in 48 hours, you basically don't have that much wiggle room. You don't have it. Let's just be honest. So, oatmeal is better than no meal, right? So you take this $10,000, your agent get paid, boom, and you don't have that foreclosure on your credit, right? So, just think about how motivated they are. With programs, restructuring loans, slow down. So the summer, how would you look up REO? And so same websites, you guys, same HUD Home Store, and bookmark them. Right now, these REOs might not be showing up, but bookmark them and then check back, right? Check back every 30 days and see if they've got more properties in their site. HUD Home Store, Home Path, Home Steps, Bank of America has their own REO website. Wells Fargo has their own REO website. You know, we all don't fool with Wells Fargo right now, but they have their own website. I think VA has their own REO website too, honestly. Bookmark them. There might not be anything on there right now, but bookmark them because they're coming. I promise they're coming. And so when you go to these sites, you just put in what city or county you're looking for. Like on auction.com and Hubzu, you just put in your county, right? And then it shows you what's listed. Or put in the county where you want to bid, right? And then you'll see what they have to offer. Trust me, they're going to start getting more. I promise. Because I can't sell half the properties that are coming to me at auction because they were just bought 3 years ago. That does not make sense for any investor to pay full price for a property at auction. So if I can't sell it, they're going back to the bank. So we're going to see an increase in REO properties, which means everybody has equal opportunity to buy them. You just have to get financing, right? So that's what you do. You didn't get the address. Okay, you guys, let me tell you one more time. Somebody type the address in the once I say it. 2694 Cherokee Avenue. Cherokee, like a Native American. 2694 Cherokee Avenue. That's Bibb County, Georgia. Opening bid is $66,766. Auction is Tuesday at 10 a.m. The other one is 2684 Hillcrest Avenue. Same time, 10 a.m. Tuesday. Opening bid is $79,483. Those are both duplexes, and they are both on the market right now for $130,000. So the homeowner is trying to sell them really quickly before they foreclose on Tuesday. Go get them. Go get them. Because if I was in Georgia, I'd probably leave a letter on the door. And then whoever's renting it is going to be like, wait, what you mean we in foreclosure? Yep. Tell your owner to call me. That's what I do. Now you're going to have to charge for safety. People may still live here. Big crowds. Yeah. You just have to, yeah. Small goals. Yep. I'm in crypto to get out of this bull run with down payment for real estate. Y'all, look, Mr. West, you just do whatever you got to do to get the coins. Is all I'm saying. Bibb County. Y'all, I don't know what city that is, but it's Bibb County. I don't ever know the cities. I just know the county. I don't know. Is Bibb Atlanta? Y'all, I don't know that. You know what I mean? How much time do I have to pay capital gains if I sell my residential property and invest most of it? So you can do that 1031 exchange. You know what I mean? Do y'all know about 1031 exchange? Like if you buy a property, flip it, right? Or sell it, and you have money, right? They'll make you put that profit that you make in a special account, right? And as long as you use that money to buy another property, you won't have to pay taxes on it, right? But you don't get it when you close, right? You know what I mean? You sell the property, you make your profit, they're going to hold it in an account for you, right? My investors do this all the time, especially the out of country investors do that all the time. They're going to hold it in an account for you, and then you've got 90 days to find another property and use that money, put it there. You ain't got to pay taxes on it. What about fix and flips? What's your take? Bibb is making about 1.5. Okay, so yeah, Bibb County. Y'all, it's a lot. Go look at my I always say I want to try to share this with you. Like it's a Google Drive, but I got to figure out how to share it with you, right? Because I really be sharing. It's really my schedule from the company, one of the companies that I'm contracted through, right? And I just kind of pick and choose stuff to share with y'all. And I don't know if I'll get in trouble if I copy and paste the whole schedule and then share it with y'all. But I can see, that's how I can see all the auctions going on across the country. Well, I mean, the ones that they have. And it's a ton, too. Bibb County, Carroll, Catoosa County, Chatham, Cherokee, Clayton, Cobb, DeKalb, Fulton, Gwinnett. Y'all got a lot. And it's a lot of opening bids, which I'm like, gosh, we haven't had opening bids in a long time, right? Most of them, they've been postponing. But I'm like, maybe the banks are starting to, foreclose. Bibb is Megan. Thanks, for sure. Yeah, it's so expensive in New York. We talk about that when you come on here. It's New York is just so expensive for properties, right? You might have to invest somewhere else, right? Oh, but fix and flip. I feel like if your profit margins are good enough, right? That's the thing. Profit margins and your market. Y'all know the market has slowed down. I know interest rates are coming down inch by inch, but I read an article today that said buyers are still, the article said even though rates are down, buyers are still on strike, right? That was the article heading. So just be very, just do all your due diligence is what I would say. Make sure if you buy the property, it's a great neighborhood. Make sure you, once you fix and flip it, you can turn around and sell it. I would keep my eye on the neighborhood. Make sure, properties are still moving. See what they're moving for. I think a lot of times investors, when they buy properties, they try to put like the best of the best product in it. So then they try to make that price super high, right? Because they got to, recoup all the bells and whistles they put in it, right? But I feel like as an investor, y'all make it look nice, but don't put it at the top of the market, especially if you got some good profit margins. Price it a little bit below, you know what I mean? So you can get off of it and go to the next one. I feel like that's what the article was saying. Like a lot of investors are taking losses on these flips, right? So just know the market you're in. Keep a very watchful eye on if properties are selling, if more properties are coming on the market, how long properties are sitting on the market, you know what I mean? And just having a plan B, like if you've got to rent it, if it doesn't sell, right? Just be mindful of that. And the good thing about the auction, I feel like, is you can get stuff at such a discounted price that you should be able to move on it pretty quickly, right? Don't price it at the top of the market. Go in there, make it, do what you do, you know what I mean? Paint it, floors, price it reasonably. I think they said like the sweet spot right now is like 300,000 and below. Most places, here it is too. Most places, I think they said average sale price on flips is like 300,000 right now because people need affordable housing, right? You make it look good, put it on the market for 300, 299, 295, get off of it, keep it pushing, you know what I mean? But that depends on where you live. In New York, you probably gonna be in the hood for 300, you know what I mean? Macon, Savannah, China. Okay, y'all are with it. Or did you say, hold on, Lakita, what you asked me? Hold on. Did you say it's called 1031 exchange? 1099 is what I get, is what we get when you self-employed. 1031 exchange is what it's called when you take the profits out of a flip and buy another property and don't have to pay taxes. 1031 exchange. Your closing attorney, your escrow company, they know exactly, well, most of them should know exactly what to do. Tell them you want to do a 1031 exchange. They're going to send you some paperwork. You fill it out. They're going to hold your money. You don't get any of your profit. You don't get any of it. I don't think you get any of it. They're going to hold all of it. And then you got like 90 days to find another property and then use that money and buy that next one is how it works. Yeah. So not 1099. So we get, like, I'm waiting on mine in January. So yes, thank you, Patrick. And did you 10, what about, I think, okay, so here's the thing. I think anything is worth trying as long as you do your due diligence and do your research, right? That can be paying cash. That can be going traditional. That can mean going seller financing. That can mean, syndications. That can mean putting your money in groups, pooling it together. Y'all do, what is it? Joint ventures, JVs. I think as long as you trust the people, right? As long as you have everything in writing, that's what I tell everybody. Get it in writing. Y'all, I don't care about handshakes. I don't care about, we've known each other since we were 3rd grade. We go to church. None of that matters. Get it in writing, right? Get it in every single detail, right? Put it in writing. It don't matter if y'all, I don't care, got baptized together. It doesn't matter. Put it in writing, okay? Every receipt, every money you pay, what we're going to buy, how this is going to work. If it doesn't work out, what's the, evacuation plan, how I'm going to get my money back, put it in writing, right? I'm also all about, making sure you know who you work with, right? If somebody says I'm an investor, I'll be like, okay, show me what you've done, right? Like, that's how I feel. I don't think anybody should be offended by saying, hey, if I've never worked with you before, let me see your track record, right? I feel like that's reasonable. You know what I mean? Just do your research, right? That's all I could say. Or if you'd rather just put money in a stock, right, and let them invest, then, you know what I mean? Do what works for you. Invest on your comfort level, right? Invest on your blood pressure level, right? If your blood pressure going to be high because you invested $10,000, don't do that, right? Don't do that. Just invest at your comfort level is what I would say. But always do your research. Always do your due diligence, especially when you come see me at the auction, right? Title search and drive by the properties, right? What tax strategies do you use as a real estate agent? I hate talking about taxes, right? You guys, I'm going to be completely 100 with you guys. I hate talking about taxes, right? Like, that's why I just have a CPA. And I'm like, because like as self-employed, you guys, and I've been self-employed for like a decade, right? Like, you guys, I don't even remember what it was like to get a refund. I don't even remember that. I don't even remember those. I don't remember those days. I think I don't know. I always have to pay, right? You hope you don't have to pay ridiculous amounts, but sometimes you got to pay ridiculous amounts. So, you know what I mean? Hire somebody. If you don't know how to do your taxes, don't play. We don't play with Uncle Sam. Hire somebody to do your taxes, right? For a mortgage, what's the best way? Mr. West, you really you asked me all the way. I'm glad you trust me and my expertise. As far as pre-qual for mortgage, what's the best way small banks learn? You know what I mean? I think, of course, those big banks are much stricter, right? Big banks are always going to be stricter. That's why people always say, go to a credit union or go to like your local banks, because usually they're more lenient with lending, right? As far as big banks, they have all those restrictions. Like I'm talking about Bank of America, Wells Fargo. It's rare that when I worked residential that a buyer came to me with like a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America pre-approval. They just don't. You go to like, I hate to say it, Navy Federal, because I know they're hot right now. Navy Federal or like the credit union, or here in Memphis it's like Bank of Bartlett, like the smaller, lenders that are more willing to lend is what I'm saying. So, but I tell people, if you have a relationship with a bank, go, if you like, when people have car loans and home loans and you have a small business and CDs with the bank, go talk to them, right? And right now, banks want all the business they can get, right? So if you have a relationship, go in there and talk to them. Because honestly, they trying to get the business they can get. So they might work with you right now, since it's a drought right now in mortgages. They might be more lenient. So, but it's usually more common for the smaller banks, the credit unions, to lend, are more lenient when it comes to lending, instead of, Chase and Chase and Wells Fargo and Bank of America, if that makes sense. Yes. You guys, okay, you guys, we hitting on, what is that? 83 minutes, you guys. We could have watched The Big Short at this point. We could have watched The Big Short as long as I've been talking, right? And I know if you're on the East Coast, it's 10:23, right? So, if y'all don't have any questions, I'm probably going to hop off of here until next year, right? I might come on here tomorrow, midday, afternoon. We'll see. Really quickly, don't forget, subscribe. I'm here, Your Agent Ashley on Instagram. Birthday, the coupon code for my course, the Auction Accelerator, it expires tomorrow. It expires January 1st. And then the price will go back up. So, if you need to know how to bid at the auction, y'all, I teach you every single thing that I know to teach you how to bid at the auction and how to find pre-foreclosures. I teach you all that. Use code birthday. Use code birthday. What else do I have for free? If you did not get the websites, right? The websites, commercial, land, residential, government owned, the link is below. I know this is a new video because we didn't get in the other video. The link is below, you guys. It's free. Download the websites. I have a free checklist. Get the checklist, auction day checklist. It's free. All the links are down below. Get the newsletter, you guys. Join my newsletter so y'all know when I'm gonna be on here. I always give away stuff. This works. It works every single place, you guys. I knew I had to teach from a place of people buying properties wherever they are. I teach you all my secret tricks and tips and all that. And I share with you that schedule. If you follow me on Instagram, when I post the schedule once a week, I share with y'all where to find that. So yeah, and I give y'all everything: property tracker, a repair bid calculator, how to calculate your max bid, every single thing you need. I teach you how to do a title search, you guys. I teach you how to do a title search. So use code birthday. Use code birthday. If I don't come on here tomorrow, you guys, I'll probably be on here next weekend. So follow on Instagram. Have a happy new year. Get your goals together. Get your life together. Don't overdraft your bank account. Pay down your credit cards. Don't buy a flat screen TV. Do whatever it takes to be done. And it doesn't matter if people think you're crazy. If you tell them, no, I can't go out to eat, I can't go this weekend, you just say no, because you got to get your house, right? We got to build wealth. And, you know, you got to buy your way out. If you're working on a job, you're going to have to buy your way out, right? Yes, debt to income. Yes, get it as low as possible. Low as pay off your stuff, you guys. You know, the rule on credit cards is 30% rule. That's a 30% rule. Whatever your max, like if it's a $300 limit, you need to get your balance under 30%, right? Once you go over 30%, they're going to start hitting your credit. So get it under, start paying down your credit cards. Just pay a little bit more on your credit cards. Don't overdraft, right? You know what I mean? Do you really need cable? Do you really need that? I don't know. Y'all might need cable. I don't know. I haven't had cable in like 2 decades. I don't know. But do whatever it takes. Be consistent. Pay your bills on time. It doesn't matter what anybody says. I know tax season is coming. Don't spend your tax refund. Pay down your bills, you guys. I'm not in y'all's bank accounts and your business and credit, but do what you got to do, right? Because like I said, y'all gonna log in one day and y'all gonna see waves crashing, right? And y'all gonna be like, Ashley, where are you? And I'll be like, at my beach house, you guys. I told you I got it for $18.37. I told y'all. And y'all gonna be like, Ashley told us. So just know, yeah, New York, yeah. Yeah, New York, that's a whole different, that's a whole different, you know what I mean? New York's a great place. Y'all's real estate and your rental laws are just not conducive for an investor. That's all I can say. But we're not paying full price and we're not buying flat screen TVs. That's the rules to live by. You don't pay full price and you don't need a new flat screen TV. Okay? So, Happy New Year, right? If I don't see you all before 2024, Happy New Year. Be safe, right? And check out the movies that recommendations: Big Short, 99 Homes, and Inside Job. Check them out. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. And yeah, y'all's laws are ridiculous in New York. I just can't. Yeah, Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. YouTube, go watch the videos. I got like 200 videos. Go watch them. And if y'all don't have any questions, I think that's all I got for you, you guys. Happy New Year, you guys. Happy New Year. Happy Saturday. Happy birthday if it's your birthday. You know, happy all the things, you guys. That's all I got. I'm getting off here unless y'all got some questions. Download all the things. Click on the links in the description, you guys. Click on the links. You'll find everything that I have. Okay? Okay, you guys. That's it. It's 9:29. No flat screens, Michael. We don't even joke about that on this channel. No flat screens. You know that. No, nobody needs another flat screen. If you don't have one at this point, you just watch whatever you've been watching. Okay? So, okay, you guys. Bye, everybody. Bye, Michael. Bye, Toya. Bye, Michelle. Bye, Julian. Bye, Mr. West. Bye, Alva. I'm not going to be, y'all ain't going to have me on here all night saying bye to everybody. Bye, Candace. No, we're not shopping at Walmart. I mean, you can shop at Walmart, but don't shop at it for flat screen TVs. That's all I'm saying. Right? Bye, Lena. Happy New Year, you guys. Happy New Year. We're all doing better in 2024, you guys. 2024, we made a deal. We made a deal. Get your credit, get your life, get your health. Okay, you guys, I have to get off here. Like, we're 16. You know how we do this. No, you hang up. No, you hang up first, Ashley. So I'm hanging up. Bye, you guys. Happy New Year.